Welcome back to part 1 of the Poriscope tutorial series. What is Poriscope? In the previous video, we explored what Poriscope is and went over the interface. Now that you know where everything is located, let's proceed and see how Poriscope helps you get started and stay on track using its built-in help system. Poriscope comes with an interactive tutorial designed to guide you through each step of the analysis pipeline. The 4 analysis steps, which each correspond to one of the steps of the analysis pipeline, as we will see in part 2 of this tutorial series, comes with its own walkthrough. You can launch this walkthrough at any point by going to the help menu in the top bar and clicking on tutorial. Every single time you launch it, doesn't matter which tab you are on, you will see this pop-up with general instructions on how the tutorial works, what you are supposed to do, and the actions you are able to take while the walkthrough is active. These are the same steps. This is a short version of the steps I will tell you now. So once you launch the tutorial, you'll see this pop-up and then you'll click on Let's Get Started. And for instance, here we are in the main view, we haven't opened any analysis tab. So what it's doing is that it's prompting us to click on analysis, new analysis tab, raw data controller. So we will do that. And as you can see, it automatically, it switch views and it automatically continue the walkthrough on the next view. The way that the tutorial works is that every single time you reach the new analysis tab step that prompts you to go here and select an analysis tab. You don't have to do it, but if you decide to do it, then your walkthrough will continue across the 4 different tabs we have. You can also choose to click done, and that would be it. You can continue on your own. So the elements of the walkthrough are pretty simple. You will have a highlighted event. So here is the plus symbol next to the radar. You will have a title that tells you the name of the action or where you are at the moment, plus a short description of the action you're going to perform, what you're supposed to do. And you can click next, go back, and you also are aware at all points how many steps you have per tab. So for instance, here in the raw data tab, we have 16 steps. We're in the first 1, 2, 3. You can go as you want. You can close this at any point. You can switch tabs, launch it again. You have the general instructions. And then here's those 12 steps, go back, and so on. I really want to point out that everything, even though the background is grayed out, you are still able to click on the different elements. This is because we want you to interact with the application. This is a non-blocking dialog. You are able to perform the action. So welcome to event analysis. Click the plus button to load your event database. So you click here, you follow the different steps. Again, this is part 2. And then once you do that, you continue. So for instance, you don't have to perform the action to be able to click next, but it's highly recommended that you do, because that is the whole point of the walkthrough. It's definitely a nice reminder, but if you're a first-time user, it's to teach you how to perform the analysis pipeline. And if you skip steps, then if at some point you want to test one of your steps, you won't be able to, because most, if not all of the steps or of the different analysis tabs are dependent on one another. So if you skip one, you will have to go back, make sure you perform all of them before next one gets enabled. So that is for the walkthrough. Once again, the actions don't get performed for you, and this is your opportunity to learn by doing. So Poriscope's built-in walkthrough is your first line of help, your first line of reference after this video on how to use the application, how to efficiently conduct a full analysis using Poriscope. But there's also other useful tools that you can use while using the app if you ever forget what an option is for, what something means. That option is the tooltip. So if you go to the sidebar menu, for instance, well, of course, if it's not collapsed, you can see the names, but otherwise you can hover over the different elements and see this is raw data, this is event analysis, this is the get help option, and so on. Then if at some point you don't remember what an icon means, it's been a while since you use the application and you want to remember, you can hover over the different buttons, for instance here, and be like, okay, this is the time event finding. Perfect. And get a reminder of what the different buttons are used for. And finally, but definitely not least, and quite literally not least either, we have the Poriscope documentation, which is in the designated GitHub pages from the Poriscope repository. Again, you can find the link to the documentation in the description of this video. And you can refer to this for any help regarding how to get started on the application as a general user, or maybe you are a developer and you want information on how to make your own plugin. You have detailed documentation on all the plugins, what the methods are for, what they are for in scientific terms, the different parameters, etc., etc. So definitely whenever you have questions, we highly encourage you to, as soon as you get started on Poriscope, browse the documentation, as it will give you a solid understanding of the software. So definitely watch this tutorial series, then refer to the documentation. And if you ever have questions, it is very likely that you will find the answers there. There's actually a designated fact section, so you can even refer to that. And yeah, no, super important, super useful. The documentation is here, it's always handy, and it is truly very detailed. So now you know how Poriscope helps onboard users, whether it is through its built-in help systems like the tooltip or the walkthrough, or through external resources like the documentation. In the next video, we will walk you through how you can log your progress, so next time you launch Poriscope, you can start right where you left off.